Hi everyone, Robin here from the Dance Physio. I'm here today with more développé training tips. So today I'm going to talk about the iliopsoas, why it's so important, and what you can do to test it and start strengthening it today. So the iliopsoas is one of our hip flexors. It's one of the muscles that sits deep in the front of your hip that is responsible for lifting your hip up. Now the iliopsoas is actually the most important muscle for lifting your leg above 90 degrees. So if you want to développé above 90 degrees, the iliopsoas really is the key player. Now it has to be strong enough to lift your leg against the weight of gravity, and then it's got to be able to stabilize the leg to allow your knee to straighten. Now not only this, you're asking your iliopsoas to do all of this at a disadvantaged position. So in a long story short, our muscles all work to their best mechanical advantage when they're in the middle length, so neither too long nor too short. Now the higher you développé your leg, the shorter your iliopsoas gets. So when you're doing a high développé, in fact the iliopsoas is very short, which means the higher your leg is, the more disadvantaged the iliopsoas is in terms of being able to produce power. So you're asking it to do more and more and more work with less mechanical advantage. So as you can see, the iliopsoas really needs to be super strong. So when I'm working with anybody to improve their développés, and as well in my développé training program, which you can download today, the first thing I do is isolate the iliopsoas and check to see if it's got the strength and the power it needs to produce a good développé. So this is kind of a baseline test to see where you are and what kind of développé potential you have right now. So some people can in fact get their développé above 90 degrees and still fail this test, but that would usually be because they're cheating. Quite often the iliopsoas is weak, they'll be hitching at the waist or twisting the hips a little bit to make it look like they're getting a little bit higher. Whereas this test, we can take away some of those cheating factors, see how the iliopsoas is working, and then you can use this test as well to start building strength in the iliopsoas. So what you're going to do, come sit on the edge of a chair. Now you've got to make sure you're sitting up nice and tall, so find that neutral spine, so make sure you're not here, sitting up nice and tall, pulling in your tummy muscles. Then you want to lift your hip up, making sure that you don't bend your back at the same time, and lower. And again, so lifting up the leg and lower down. Now it is really easy to cheat on this. The temptation will be, if you're quite weak in the iliopsoas, to lift that leg and bend here. So of course you don't want that to happen. So I usually use it as a guideline that the higher you can lift the leg, the more potential you've got to do a great développé. If you're struggling to lift your leg at all, it means you really don't have very much force in your iliopsoas at all, and this is where you need to start. I often get dancers to practice this every day for several weeks before we really move on to any other exercises. I would like to see you be able to perform 10 to 12 of these with, a good height, a good distance between your chair and the leg, and the chair and your leg. If you're really struggling to lift it at all, then even just contracting, even just trying to lift that muscle without letting your back bend is going to be firing up the muscles and getting them ready to go. So if you do find about 10 to 12 of them quite easy, you can add some ankle weights, add some resistance to that. And then once you can do 20 or 12 of these quite easy with some resistance, you're ready to move on to some more challenging exercises. So if you'd like more great développé tips, you can of course head over to my website where you can download my full training plan today to take you from wherever you are in your développé journey to those great Instagram-worthy shots that we all want as dancers. In the program, I go through the whole anatomy of a développé, everything you need for a great développé, and then I give you a full training plan that covers all of the elements so that you can really achieve your développé goals today.